Hey everyone, I'm Travis, and in this video you're going to see me build this custom shifter. Enjoy. Okay, so have a look at this original Mustang, Cougar, Fairlane. I don't know, came in a bunch of cars. This is the ball of goodness that I got handed to me. I got this free in like a deal, like some other marketplace deal, and decided to make it look, make it fit into the truck. I've always liked these Mustang shifters, kind of the bezel and stuff like that. So I thought, hey, instead of going to buy a crazy expensive whatever shifter, I can just build one out of this Mustang one. Easier kind of said than done, which we've come to learn here, and we'll come to show you as well. But starting off with just the tunnel, you mark your spot, put it where you want it, and then work from there. Here's the joys of this bucket that I received. It was pretty butchered and not so good, but that left tons of space to rebuild. So you can see we kind of had some new bushings, some new bungs and stuff like that. Cleaned up that edge of the box or the bucket, and put in this fancy new bushing and bung side of things. So the reason I did this was it's kind of an easy, or at least the thought was it's an easy shifter to have, and then you get the original gate, like the shifting gate, so the park and the reverse and all that stuff, and the mechanism and the bezel as you see here on the screen now. So there's some standoffs there that the bezel bolts into, and then the bezel is going to sit nicely on the floor with the carpet underneath it, all that kind of stuff. Here's more of the tricky side of things. This is the Mustang arm, and that's the Mustang mechanism. So there's the T-handle with the button. That button pushes this kind of lever or cable or whatever you want to call it. That cable gets pushed by the T-handle, and then up goes the selector, and then you're able to shift like that. So pretty simple mechanism, especially if you're using the original stuff. There's kind of the cable inside. I would recommend this to somebody if they wanted to use the original one, but where this video takes place now is where we're going to take this piece of hex bar and turn that into a shifter. So that's kind of where this thing gets a little bit more complex and where it gets a little tricky, but hey, that's what I'm here for, right? So I had to drill the middle of this thing. It's about 16 inches long, so I mean, look at the length of that drill, but you don't see that every day. But yeah, drilled both sides. I had to like step it with two different size drill bits, but blah blah blah. This is something, if you're gonna undertake building a shifter like this, you probably know how to deal with these problems and how to do it. But the lathe was pretty essential for this, to turn down those ends to fit the handle, of course, and then the shifter arm, or whatever you want to call it, the selector gate. But anyways, this is one of my favorite things to do. You know, no matter what I'm building, this is something I love to do. This is the Indian Larry Twist. He was famous for doing these for the down tube of his motorcycle frames, and I just love this look. This is a very, and this will become a centerpiece for the truck. I mean, obviously the center shifter, everybody kind of sees it. It'll get a nice kind of chrome finish, so it'll shine and sparkle in the sunshine, and I just love doing the twists in these things. I love what it looks like, and I kind of love how it turns out. So not only did I twist it like this as far as, you know, rotationally, but I also bent it and moved it and pulled it to fit to the cab, as you can see here. Put a little turn in it, I think I laid it back a little bit. You can't see that in this video, but fits the T-handle good, and then it has space to fit into the bezel as well. There's our original tongue or tab or whatever you want to call it. So I stole that from the Mustang shifter, put it in the right spot with the hex shifter, and then I had to make those grooves. So I had to duplicate the grooves from the Mustang one. So there's the top groove, and then the top groove is there, and then the bottom groove for the selector. So I used that same mechanism, but I had to use a longer cable. So what did I have? Well, I had a throttle cable kicking around, an old throttle cable that I welded, I think it was a 1032 bolt to, or I cut the head off a bolt and welded the cable to it, just to get a longer cable, because of course we're having a longer shifter here, as you can see. So there's the original mechanism, works exactly the same. I did have to add a set screw there that kind of holds the spring mechanism together. Again, kind of fancy stuff. This was quite involved. I mean, I'm so glad I did it. It's just one of the coolest things ever, but it is definitely a tricky thing to do. So here's the C6 that I have. This is like a 1995, 94, 96, something like that. F150 C6. So the selector arm and stuff, this is where it varies. It kind of gets tricky through here. I'm not the best with linkages and kind of picturing them and imagining how they work, so I had to do a little bit of trial and error with that. In this shot here, you can see that right near when it gets to the end, it wasn't working the way it should. As you can see, I select the lowest gear and the arm doesn't move. Where I found the problem was the orientation of the selector arm. So if you stay with me here, what it was is essentially you needed to end at 6 o'clock, if that makes sense. If it starts at 3 o'clock, the lowest point of that shifter has to be at 6 o'clock, if that makes sense. So as you can see, when it gets to the lowest point, that's about 6 o'clock on the shifter arm, and then it goes up to, maybe 3:30 kind of thing. But then fully operational and works out well. So that orientation was a huge difference. I'm not sure how the Cougars and Fairlanes and all that did it, but that was something that was crucial for making it work on this thing. So after that was completed and it was all kind of working together, well, I had to make a reverse light. So I made that little bung out of a nut, actually. I didn't have the right thread or anything, but I had a nut that was the same size, like 9/16 fine or something, I don't know. But there's a reverse switch I had kicking around, just a simple ball bearing with a electrical switch kind of thing. So not a lot of place to put it inside the car, so I had to put it outside the car, which wasn't too bad. It's kind of tucked up behind the transmission, and it's nothing to be concerned about. I went through and tested it. You could hear the beeping and the buzzing as it goes through. I mean, we get it. Yeah, turn off the beeps. We get it. But that just shows you that it does work. And excuse me, it kind of came out pretty good. So it looks a little bit kind of crazy, but as it flows through the motions there and goes through the gears, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. So it'll hide those wires up nicely and just make a simple reverse switch. So as I said earlier in the video, I would recommend this to somebody if they were using the stock components and wanted to put a floor shifter in their car for fairly cheap, or into their truck for fairly cheap, and like this bezel and yada yada yada. But it's definitely quite a challenge to make the arm and make the mechanism work and then make the shifter work. That's a whole ball of wax that if you're looking to get into, hey, don't let me tell you what to do. Go for it, and I hope this video helped you. It was a lot of fun to build. I can't wait to chrome this thing and make it the centerpiece. So thanks for watching. Take care.